current time, because I feel like then there's hope that they'll be found alive, right? But like the longer it goes, like obviously after decades, there's way less hope statistically.
Yeah. So she's still not found yet.
But there's something weird about the way she disappeared. Something really creepy. 27, married, newborn baby, tells her parents and her sister that she's gonna go out to meet a classmate. Goes out, never comes back. For the next 20 years, nobody's really gonna talk about this. Not even the country of Japan really talks about it. It didn't even make national news headlines. Maybe local news, but not really that intense. And really, it seemed like just her family cared about her disappearance and nobody else did. Until 2011, when a big TV broadcast said, hey, listen, we're covering some disappearances. You know, we've heard about this disappearance of Mayumi. We'd love to interview your family and get that news out there, get you some exposure, and maybe someone saw Mayumi. Now, this is very intriguing because Japan is known for stuff like this. Japan is known for vanishing people, which sounds like a ghost theory. It sounds paranormal, but it's not. Japan actually has an increased rate, a higher rate of people vanishing than other countries. Vanishing as in Japan, it's not normal, but it's a lot more common than in the US of people completely disappearing and starting over, even with families.
Starting over?
So it's very common for Japanese people because of the whole mindset. Everything is a little bit more formal over there, so divorces aren't as common. There's not as much leeway in terms of, like, obviously bankruptcy is shitty in America, but in Japan it's not as easy to like do stuff like that. So you can't just be like, hey guys, like I'm filing for bankruptcy, or hey guys, I'm getting a divorce. Lots of people under all of that stress and pressure, they just up and leave their families.
Like
they go to work one day and they never come back, and it's like a phenomenon called vanishing people. And so, you know, a lot of the times they kind of showcase these cases a lot more in Japan because they're like, hey, maybe if someone's seen them around, maybe this is, you know, a form of vanishing people. Maybe Mayumi is now living under the name of, you know, something else somewhere else other than Tokyo. They put the family onto a broadcast and they interviewed them. Now, the first person that they interviewed was Yoko.
I mean, if I'm starting over, I don't want people to be looking for me.
She could have went to a different country with a different name.
If she goes to a different country, typically they'll know.
How?
Passport. I'd say it's not that easy to disappear. So Yoko gets interviewed first. And then the father of Mayumi. What's very interesting is, during that interview, he doesn't say anything spectacular, but you'll see on the bookshelf behind him, there's a note taped to the bookshelf, and it was facing the cameras. And on it said, don't trust anything Yoko said. So Yoko went first.
Who's Yoko?
The sister of Mayumi.
Oh.
This started getting a lot of attention because now this is extremely abnormal. Obviously, if someone disappears, that's not normal, that's abnormal. But out of all the disappearances that happen all around the world, this is weird. Why would they say don't trust Yoko, Mayumi's sister? It doesn't make sense. And the crazier thing is, none of this made its way onto the internet. This was all done locally. The TV broadcast was, you know, aired locally. They didn't upload it to YouTube. It was 2011 at the time. They didn't upload it to any other internet provider, internet service. And so we can't verify the footage itself, but there's screenshots of him sitting there with this sign pasted behind him. Very intriguing. And a lot of the people that did watch the local news or have remembrance of that TV being broadcasted, they said that, you know, Yoko's story was one that was very interesting. It was very confusing. Yoko's interview went something along the lines of, now, Mayumi, my sister, she told me one day that she was going to go see a common friend of ours, a former classmate that we had. And so she went to the train station and she never came back. Now I went to her room to see, you know, did she pack her stuff or something? And I found this letter. I opened up the letter and she admits to having an affair, cheating on her husband. Now, she didn't tell me the name of the person that she was having an affair with, but she called him A, like Pretty Little Liars, but like 20 years ago. And she even left a phone number. And so I called that phone number, and it was just so strange. I started getting in contact with this guy. She said that she was so sorry she couldn't do this anymore, but then also A betrayed him. And Yoko believes that A murdered her sister up until she hired a private investigator. So she called a private investigator and says, hey, I'm going to pay you for the next 6 months to go follow this A person and see if this person murdered my sister. And so the private investigator follows until one day the private investigator follows him into the woods. Now he's going into the woods one night and he sees lots of jjajangmyeon. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, it's freaky stuff.
He goes into the woods one day following A, and then he says, wait a second, A is going into that house and he's holding 2 coffee cups. Maybe Mayumi's alive. But for some reason, he wasn't able to make it inside, and he lost track of A. Also, Yoko stopped paying him after 6 months, and so he stopped following A. This all happened, and it was just such a frustrating time for Yoko. She doesn't understand. She personally feels like, A and Mayumi went along with it. They either ran away together, something happened. Now, why is this story weird? Now, why would her parents tell her that this is a bad story? Because nobody saw the letter but her.
Where is the letter?
She said that in a fit of anger, she threw it away.
That doesn't make sense.
I feel like there's like some drama between them, right? Don't you think?
But why would she make up such an elaborate, complicated story? She could have just been like, I don't know. Sounds like she's trying to write a crime novel or something.
Right?
It's like she says so much, but at the same time, there's nothing to back it up with.
So she tells this story. Now, this is where it gets weird. Now, I feel like the story that Yoko tells is weird, but it's not completely unbelievable. If you heard this on some ABC 2020, you might be like, that's freaking weird, but maybe it really happened. There are some crazy people out there. You just never know, okay? You just don't know people these days.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the feeling that you would get, but there's a couple big problems in her story. The first being that, first of all, nobody else saw the letter but her, because she claims that in a fit of rage, in a fit of anger after seeing this letter, she tore it up to shreds and never showed anyone. The second thing that's weird and unprovable is that there's no evidence that she hired a PI, whether she paid cash or whether there was no PI. There's just no evidence that she did any of that. And third of all, apparently Mayumi only told Yoko where she was going that day. So what happened was, it seems like, everyone in the family knew that Mayumi was going to go meet a classmate of theirs, but Mayumi told Yoko and Yoko told the parents. So how do you know that's exactly what actually Mayumi said that day? You don't know any of these things. And so now here comes the theories. Now, nobody was able to really get back in contact with the family to ask them follow-up questions, and it seems like the parents weren't trying to say anything bad about Yoko, just the fact that nobody wanted to believe Yoko is kind of what they said. And so when you looked at a lot of Japanese forums, they all kind of said very similar things. So there's a couple different theories. The first theory being that is very popular amongst Redditors is that it was all a hoax. It was all a TV hoax, whether this never existed or it was screenshots that were just of like a horror movie or some sort of, TV show, low budget TV show, and it went viral, and the intrigue was, oh, this is in Japanese, or this is a true crime from Japan, and so all of these international true crime fans just ate it up, right? Without really understanding, because they don't have the full footage to go off of. But when they look at the broadcast, the TV station that played this episode, it is a real TV station. The TV station has confirmed that this episode existed, and this TV station is just your straight news station. It is not like a what do you call it, a CW. It's not a TV station where they play Friends and then your nightly news. Like, this is a strictly news station.
So they're saying this is real.
Yeah, and these screenshots seem to be true, and it seemed to happen. So that kind of puts the hoax theory a little bit to rest. The second theory seems to be that, obviously there was something bad happening between the sisters, and Yoko got rid of Mayumi. Now, lots of people don't believe that one, because even in cultures like Japan, you would rat out your kid
if they killed their siblings.
But maybe the parents don't know that.
It seems like they have to, because the letter. So the theory is that the parents know that she killed her, but they don't want to lose both of their kids. A lot of people find that very far-fetched, because they say that most of the time, I don't know if parents are capable of not ratting out. The next theory that came from it was like, okay, well, that's maybe a little too intense. What if Yoko just has some issues? Now, there's no medical history that people could find where Yoko had instances of illnesses, but it just seems, what if she imagines things? And their parents don't want to be scared of her, and they don't think that she's harmful, but they think that, she has some issues and nobody should believe what she says. So that's the second theory. The third theory is that actually the parents are in the wrong. Not that they killed Mayumi, but Mayumi is one of the vanishing people. In Japan, it's very bad to bring shame to your family. Let's say Mayumi left her husband and started off a new life with this new person. It's easier for the parents, society-wise in Japan, to say, hey, our kid disappeared, than to say, hey, our kid ran away and married someone else. And so they are trying to tell Yoko to shut the fuck up, because Mayumi is already gone, so why bring shame to the family? The damage is already done. Mayumi's not coming back. So why would you make it even worse for our family? So that's a theory. The next theory, it gets really weird. That the parents allegedly are not good people. Because not too long after this broadcast, a couple years after, Yoko went missing.
No.
And nobody has seen Yoko or Mayumi since.
Wow, I think it's the parents then.
I just got chills.
And nobody knows where Yoko went or where Mayumi is. It's creepy, no?
Oh, is that the end?
Yeah, that's it. Everyone has no idea where they are.
Yeah, that's the parents for sure.
All right. Allegedly.
All right, then. He's like, for sure.
1,000%.
I put my name on this.
Yeah.
For sure.